Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're all healthy, safe and of course doing great today. Last week I shared my career advice and what it means to lose a pilot job. If you haven't seen it yet, you can watch it after this one by clicking the link at the end of this video. This week I will try to spread some more positivity, but on another level. Have you ever wondered what an airline pilot considers to be the top 10 best things about his or her profession? If you stay tuned till the end, you will know the top 10 best things about being an airline pilot. And of course, if you like my videos, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss out any of my future videos. Number 1. Flying is extremely rewarding and addictive. The feeling of being in control of an aircraft, carrying people, precious cargo and animals all over the planet is just something you never get used to. Not one single day is the same. From the moment you start with your pilot training until you retire, flying an aircraft always feels like a great experience. And if you don't believe me, then you can always check it out yourself. There are loads of glider clubs around and I'm certain there's one not too far away from where you live. Don't tell me I didn't warn you though, because you might get addicted to flying as well. Number 2. You get to see the world. It's no secret that pilots and cabin crew get to experience travel in ways that most people can only dream of. Strolling through the streets of Singapore and going for a swim in the Caribbean Sea a week later is definitely possible. It does depend on the sort of operation you go for though. For example, flying for a low-cost airline usually doesn't come with any layovers, and if you do happen to have some, they are often only minimum rest, meaning you have time to eat, sleep and that's about it. The best way to experience this sort of lifestyle is to fly long haul or to fly business jets or work for a charter company. Number 3. The type of operation can be very diverse. Airplanes themselves can be different in looks and feel, but the way they work is the same. The sort of operations are not. I'm sure you're familiar with shows like Flying Wild Alaska or Ice Pilots. Flying airplanes in a rough and cold environment. It's nothing like being a first officer for a short-haul airline in Europe. And have you seen the pilots that fly seaplanes in the Maldives? There are all sorts of operations you can fly for. Airline, cargo, business jets, drop-in skydivers, sightseeing flights, etc. In most cases, you can combine some of them, like flying a 777 for work and a Cessna during your off days, in case you really can't get enough of flying planes. Number 4. It keeps life interesting. A 9-to-5 mentality is just not for everyone. It might be the right situation for you and that's perfectly fine. But for me and many of my colleagues, the changing flights, destinations and rosters lead to a certain appreciation. I'm talking about the fact that while being away from home, friends and family, you realize what you have back home. You appreciate each other and don't take anything for granted. Number 5. The people involved. It feels like you're working with people that are all part of a huge team, trying to make sure everything runs as smooth as possible. Of course, while having a good time. In the charter company I worked for, it was normal to take a coffee before each flight of the day. And usually together with the entire crew, if it was possible. Were we in a rush, then for sure during the turnarounds in between flights, we always used to go to the terminal at that airport for a local drink. During the flight, apart from our flight duties, you can get to know your colleagues way better than in a usual job. Stuck for hours in the same cockpit, you must discuss something at some point. And if no one's interested in having a chat, that's no problem either. I've had so many marsalams or hergadas of 6 hours flight time per leg, where the time went so fast simply because of the incredible people. But I'm not just talking about my direct colleagues. It's also air traffic controllers, catering, ground personnel, gate agents, and all of the other people that work together while doing it, most of the time with a smile on their faces. And let's not forget about the dispatchers running in 30 degrees from one plane to another in order to deliver the load sheet or final figures in time is something a lot of people don't know or don't think about. In most operations you meet new and interesting colleagues on a daily basis. It's common not to work with the same people. Of course, this is completely airline dependent, as I used to fly with the same people all the time. In a bigger company, after years you're still introducing yourself just before flying off. It's also the reason why we have strict procedures in place, and that way we can work together flawlessly while having met just 1 hour before. Number 6. The views. I wish we were able to show everyone the incredible views through our cockpit windows. Whether it's the sunset, the ice caps and glaciers of Greenland, the city center of London, or the Alps. It's always great to see pyramids, volcanoes, and stretches of untouched land in Siberia, for example. Many times I have tried to capture those incredible views, but unfortunately the pictures don't even come close to reality. At night we look at the skies, and the northern lights and the Milky Way are truly stunning. Especially when flying in areas where there is little light in the environment, the view is incredible. Stargazing, thinking about what's out there and realizing that we are so insignificant, it's something everyone should do from time to time, in my opinion. Number 7. Actually flying and landing an aircraft. As I mentioned before, it's highly addictive to fly an aircraft, but it's also an extremely fun experience to hold a yoke and advance the thrust levers. You can feel the power of those engines and being in control of something that is free to move along multiple axes. And don't forget the landing, especially in crosswind conditions. Did you know that crosswind landings are often among the best landings? Landings during CAVOK conditions are the worst. I guess you could describe flying a plane as playing an advanced video game. It's a lot of fun. Number 8, you're always learning. Or, as Joe always says, a good pilot is always learning. All pilots are subject to regular theoretical and practical exams. It's one of the jobs with the most frequent exams. Besides, the aviation industry is constantly adapting. New rules and procedures are implemented regularly, and pilots are expected to be aware of those. This also challenges you as a pilot, always striving for the best possible performance. Gives a lot of satisfaction. Number 9, the freedom. A pilot job can come with a lot of freedom. Usually schedules and rosters are published well in advance. Since it's not a 9-to-5 job, you usually don't have weekends. You are off when you are off, and that can be during the week while other people are working. It's very relaxing and refreshing because you can do the things other people only have time for during weekends and evenings, like shopping or going to the gym, if you would be interested in that. Working in the aviation industry also means that you have more freedom when it comes to living abroad. Because of staff travel, you don't need to live at your base. Number 10. Being paid to do something you love. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's very true. Do something you love and you will never work one day in your life. For me, it really feels like I was able to take my passion and create it into a job. In my previous charter company, not one day felt like working, simply because it was such an adventurous and exciting operation. We ended every day in a new place and flew to another destination the day after. Like a little holiday or a weekend trip with your crew. Instead of taking the car, we took the plane. I hope by now you understand why pilots love their job so much. I love my job and I hope you love yours too. Obviously, every profession has its pros and cons. It depends on the person whether the pros outweigh the cons. And if you'd like to know 10 worst things about being an airline pilot as well, let me know in the comment box. What is the best thing about your job or training? Comment below in the comment box. During the first hours after publication of this video, I will try to respond to as many comments as possible. I hope to see you around. Check out my Instagram for daily posts and stories about my aviation life. And subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to not miss any of my future videos. Thank you for watching this video and I see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.